This is Barney Kuntze, creator and founder of the Young Living Success Summit and also a gold working on platinum leader here in Ontario, Canada. I am excited to have you guys here as another our weekly bonus coaching calls. And tonight we have a special guest as being amazing, supportive, empowering presenters that have really contributed to the community for the betterment of all in Young Living. And our speaker tonight, her name is Sue or Susan Johnson. And before I let Sue jump in here, first of all, Sue, are you with us? You can say hi.
I am here.
Awesome. So what I'd like for you guys, what I'd like to tell you about is just this. Sue is we're basically cousins. Now, all of us technically in Young Living, we're cousins to each other because we're all connected through different lines of sponsorship in one big family in Young Living called Team YL. But Sue and I have the same enroller and sponsor. The difference is that Sue's enroller and sponsor is her sister, and my enroller and sponsor is Casey Conrad, who I used to know, or who I got to know very well through the fitness industry. And so we have the same enroller and sponsor. So we're both on the first level or line in Casey Conrad, who is also another presenter for the summit in the event. And so what's really cool is just that we have different stories in Young Living and our journeys. And what I'd love for you to do, Sue, is just for those that are listening now and in the future, just to kind of tell us your story, like how you got started with Young Living and bring us up to speed with where you're at right now, because I know you have a really awesome story.
Sure. So Casey, my sister Casey and I have worked together for about 23 years. We were in the health and fitness industry. That's how Casey knew Barney. And we were not only speakers and presenters for sales, marketing, customer service, but we owned a group of women's weight loss centers. We had about 120 weight loss centers around the world. We were a franchise. And Casey was always the visionary in the top. I was always the gal in the background. I was CFO, I was COO, I did all the operations. And Casey would always come to me with these great ideas and say, "You've got to do this." And I'd be like, "Good, you do that first, and then I'll get there." And so she came to me probably 7 or 8 years ago, probably 8 or 9 years ago now, and said, "You've got to try these oils. They're so amazing." And I'm like, "Yeah, you do those oils. That's great, Casey. Yep, you try them out." So she worked with them for probably about 2.5 years, and we were actually presenting in Australia. We were taking my kids again, and we had taken them before, and my kids had been so sick the first time we had taken them. And she said to me, "I keep talking to you about these oils, but, there's one you can put on the bottom of their feet that supports your immune system, and you really should try it." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll do anything." So we started putting this, thieves on the bottom of our feet, and we went to Australia, 36 hours on a plane. We weren't sick. We weren't sick there. We weren't sick on the way back. And I came back and we're like, "Oh, this is really cool stuff." So we picked it up. My kids were like, "Yeah, we're good. Thanks for the great trip. We don't need that stuff anymore." Within 2 weeks, my kids were amazingly sick. My husband and I were fine. We were like, "Well, there's really something to this." So our uplines that Barney talked about came here and did a little presentation at Casey's house, and I actually sat through it and thought to myself, why didn't I do this years ago? And so we joined in, and we've been working it ever since. So yeah, I was one of those non-believers that you kept trying to get to China on and never did.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool, and I think what's neat about it is just that everybody's story is so unique in Young Living. For me personally, I had my coach and mentor Paul Check just basically said, "Here's the oils you need to use: Palo Santo, White Angelica, Lavender, Peppermint, but don't get mixed up in that network marketing business because it'll distract you from your fitness business." So what did I listen to? Because I have a great sense still to this day, a great sense of respect for him. But I listened to the network marketing side. But Casey, what she did for me is really asked me those questions and said, "Hey, I know, have you ever thought about selling natural health products in your gym?" And I said, "Sure, I do." And she's like, "Well, are you, what are you selling?" And I said, "Well, Young Living and a couple other things." She's like, "Oh, cool. Are you making any money with selling Young Living?" And I said, "Well, not, like a little bit, but not really." And she's like, "Well, would you like to?" And I said, "Yes." She's like, "Great, we should talk." And so that was my basic introduction to the business, and it's led to the sharing of all of the oils with the people on our team. So thanks for sharing Susan, because I think it's neat for everybody to kind of know where you're coming from. And so now your journey right now with where you're at, just so people can get a bit of a feel, you're gold working on platinum as well, right?
Just missed it by a little bit this month, so in June. So I anticipate that within the next month and a half, 2 months, I will go platinum.
Good for you. Well, Casey knows how I like to work, and she knows I'm slightly competitive. So Casey always used to say like, oh, you're going to work, and Sue's going to beat you to platinum.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, no, she's not. No, she's not. But I have a feeling that you're going to beat me to platinum. But the cool part, cool, because it's all helping the growth of Young Living, right?
Right.
I know you could probably care less about it, right?
So it's so funny because Casey will always say,
About the competitive side.
on you. Barney's beating you. I'm like, oh, that's great. Good for Barney. And she'd be like, no, you're supposed to say, no, I want to beat him. But that's where we're very different.
Yeah. But the neat part is that whatever you're doing is working. Which, speaking of which, we're talking about your presentation for the summit. Now we get into it. What was the first presentation you did in the first year? Do you remember that one?
I don't remember. Isn't that awful? I don't remember the first one. The second one I know is what's near and dear to my heart, and that's working with the wellness model. So, but I don't remember the first one. No. I do remember. So it was the 3 ways that you can make more money at Young Living. So I spoke to that, and then I kind of took it farther with the second one.
Yeah, and you have a really cool, your topic that you're doing this year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that before we kind of recap the ones that you did?
The one coming up?
Yes.
Yep. So I'm working with empowering your leaders to create more leaders. So how to empower your team to become good leaders. And again, something very near and dear to my heart, and something I actually went to school for, was working in small group communication, which is, I think it's really important, and I think that anybody can work with how to motivate and empower their team to take it to the next level.
Okay, so when you say it's like near and dear to your heart, what does that look like, or what do you mean by that?
So I think that one of the things that we're most challenged with when we as leaders work is that we don't often know how to work with the personalities that we have in our team. You often get a call from somebody that talks about something going on in their team. How do they handle it? How do they work that through? And how do they empower their leaders to be leaders? How do you get them to actually step up and take that leadership role?
For sure. So this is definitely going to be something that is not going to be restricted or limited to just your Young Living business. It's obviously going to radiate out into other areas of your life as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's designed to really give people the basics. We call it the 8 steps in how to empower your team to great things.
Okay. So cool. So that's a good little preview for your presentation that's coming up. And the one that you did last year, because I know it's the freshest in your mind, how have you, when you were doing that presentation, what was your intention for how everybody who's listening, whether they're a VIP member that's being able to use and share these presentations, or if somebody wants to go and listen to the trailer, what was the intention for you for the outcome of that presentation?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that Casey and I worked with our franchises is getting people to understand that there's only 3 ways that you can make more money, right? There's only 3 ways, truthfully, that you can make more money with Young Living. 1, signing on a new member. 2, getting a member who buys only once in a while to buy on Essential Rewards. And 3, getting someone who is on Essential Rewards to buy more. And the heart of that comes down to getting them to buy into the wellness model. We get so caught up when we go to Essential Oils 101 on peppermint and lavender. We often, especially new people, forget all about the wellness products. And if you went to convention this year, they're spending a lot more time on this, which was my hope 2 years ago. I said, the one thing I want Young Living to do is really focus more on the wellness and consumable part of their business, because everyone can buy oils, essential oils, but it's very hard to go through a bottle of forgiveness or a bottle of surrender. Even your starter kit, you can go through maybe peppermint and lavender and lemon, maybe frankincense, but there are some that you just don't go through fast enough. And if you're looking to increase your business, increase your OVGV, and really get people to be a product of the product, they need to be using consumable products. They need to use the Super Bs, the Super Cs. They need to use the Essential Zyme. They need to use the toothpaste, the shampoo. But they really need to be on things that they should be using every single month, be part of their Essential Rewards program, that they can replace products that they use every day.
Yeah, which is definitely, I think that the reassuring element of looking at the future and the excitement and the potential of Young Living, in the sense that if it was just restricted to the oils, or if that's all they had, that would be cool. And of course, there's other companies out there that do just have the oils, and they're trying to really hard, as Gary Young said, trying to catch up with 30 years of history. But then also, just from a building standpoint, when you look at being able to re-empower leaders to continue to build and grow and share, one of the things that I've noticed is that people, if they feel a little bit restricted with their, or kind of apprehensive with sharing, is they don't want to feel like a salesman or saleswoman, or they want to be pushy or promoting something that's not going to be necessary or beneficial for them. But when you look at the consumables that they're using in their life, obviously it's the replacement buying approach. Have you found that for yourself as contributing to going from gold to platinum as really helping as
absolutely.
the main source?
Absolutely. Because most people, when you talk about a wellness model, in today's world, with the type of food that we eat, the way it's processed, the way it's been grown, we've lost many of the important things like the enzymes. We aren't getting the nutrients that we did. We're not getting the vitamins, the minerals. And Young Living has taken the time to research and create bioavailable vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, essential zymes, probiotics. They are on the cutting edge of everything that people who want to create a well-living life need to be on. Everyone should be on a vitamin, a mineral. They should all be on an essential zyme. They should all be on a probiotic. And you can't do any better than Young Living. And one of the things that I always run into is people say, well, I buy my vitamins from so-and-so because they're the best. Or they just, when you look at them, you really take a look at the quality of their vitamins. They might be quality, but number one, they're not infused with essential oils. Number two, Young Living is cutting edge. When you look at their Omega Gi's, when you look at their Super B in particular, many people have heard now about the MTHFR. This is a genetic gene. It's a gene mutation. About 35% of the population has it, and they can't assimilate folic acid. They actually have trouble with it. They have trouble detoxing. Young Living Super Bs, which bees have a lot of folic acid, actually puts folate, which means that anyone out there can take Young Living Super Bs. They are amazing. And again, it should be something on everyone's monthly order. Right? So when you look at those types of products, those are the things that you want people to buy. Let's talk about prostate health. If you have a man in your life and he is not on Young Living's prostate health, you are doing him a disservice. It is an amazing, amazing product that helps support a man's prostate. End of story. Right? There should be no man that's not on that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good, for sure. And speaking of MTHFR, I believe that either Dr. Jim Bob Hagerton or Dr. Jessica Dietrich Marsh, they are going to be touching on or going into a little bit more in detail for that, on that topic. She said they keep getting questions about it, and it's something that I don't think that people really understand or and getting, to be honest, even me with being in the health field, I say look at me, I'm super special because I'm in the health field, but it's something that I'm aware of. I'm just not as educated as some people are, and I'm thinking for those of you that are listening, to the call live and in the future, is that if you're not really familiar with it and how it could be affecting your current level of wellness and health, these little tidbits are really important, as like what Susan's sharing, not only for growing your business, but just for your health and well-being.
True. And again, we as Young Living people using our own products can then turn around and be a model for the people that are out there. So, for you as a Young Living business builder, active sharer, whatever you are, if you're not being a product of your product and trying it, you're doing a disservice to yourself and also to those people that you're trying to serve. Because it's very, and again, there are certainly people who will find products that they might not like, but many of us get into a product and realize how great it is, And then when we don't have it, we're all of a sudden you're like, I never realized how much I missed it. If anybody, MindWise is one. If you've ever been on MindWise and you take it for a good 3 months and then you don't have it, you will be floored at how much you really realize you need MindWise every day. It's filled, again, it's got good omega-3s. It's been designed for brain health, and you will feel the difference if you don't take it every day.
Yeah, I can attest to that for sure. And I actually like to encourage people, you know, in the gym, but just in general, if you're not sure that something's working, Ningxia, Zing, Nitro, some of the personal care products or anything like that, just if you've been taking it consistently for at least ideally a 6 to 8 week period, but ideally 12, stop taking it for a week or two. And then you'll know the difference. And sometimes it might sound counterintuitive, like, well, why would I do that? That seems kind of silly because then I'm kind of like, you know, not getting the benefit. But on the other hand, it's actually good to cycle it. So like I actually will take MindWise, and I'll take MindWise consistently, and then I'll take a break, and then I'll switch to Omega. And I've had people say, no, you should be taking both of them. Well, depending on your budget, depending where you're at. I think if you cycle MindWise and Omega-Jize, it's good because then it actually gives you, well, and the other thing too is for us in Canada, well, I think it affects every market the same, but I mean, I do find that sometimes it happens a little bit more in Canada when products are out of stock, then you're like, if you're all completely relying on MindWise, then you can switch over to Omega-Jize.
And again, you know, so when we talk about a wellness model, you know, we're not talking about just one thing. A wellness model is everything. Wellness is brain health, physical activity, it's sleep, it's meditation, it's food, it's environment, right? So when we talk about the wellness model, everything that you can do that will bring down the stress levels on your body from a wellness perspective is going to help you be healthier. So I always say to people, you know, when you're talking to someone that's in Young Living and we talk about being well, are you addressing soaps? Are you addressing shampoo? The first question, if anybody says, you know, shampoo, can you brush your teeth with your shampoo? If you can't brush your teeth with your shampoo, and I'm not saying it tastes good, but what I'm saying is if you can't brush your teeth with your shampoo, you shouldn't be using it. So if you can't go to your bathroom right now and put that shampoo on your toothbrush and brush your teeth with it, you shouldn't be using it. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's on your brain, it's lathering. So when you're talking to people about changing over their things and swapping them out, it's not only just their vitamins and minerals, but it's taking down the toxic stress from beauty products. It's helping them digest food better. You know, foods that have been genetically modified don't digest well. You should be on Essential Sign 4 if you can do it. And so there's many things, and you would be doing some of these things in other places of your life. You're always going to buy soap. You're always going to buy shampoo. You're going to buy a mouthwash. You're going to buy a toothpaste, right? You're going to buy a body soap. So those are things that you're always going to do, and by using a really good quality product, people say, well, it's more expensive, but you don't need as much. Your toothpaste should last you a good 3.5 to 4, if not 5 months. If you're only using that pea size, you don't need much, it's going to last you just as long. So although it might be more expensive to purchase when you buy it, when you look at the long run and the health of your body, it is not that much more expensive, or it's the same.
Yeah, totally agreed, 100%. Yeah, I think the other component too is just that, you know, when you look at all the products that you're going through, I actually did that. So we did this for the training that Susan asked me to help for collaboration for the benefit of everybody in Casey's organization. So that's all of people in my team and Susan's team. What was cool about it is that we were contributing, everybody was contributing to a different topic. And one of the things I talked about was just the power of consumables. And as a guy, I went through and added up, like without overreaching at all and without exaggerating in any regard, but just with the protein, the Nature Red, the Zing, the Shutron bar soap, the foaming hand wash, all that stuff, I added up in the PB between those 2 months, and what I was using was about 580, almost 600 PB. And what's interesting is like as a guy, when you start looking at the average female that's in Young Living, which predominantly makes up the Young Living member base, there's a lot more consumables, especially now with the makeup and all the other beauty care and skin care and all the beauty and wellness products. So all that coming back around from a business standpoint, we look at how we can bridge the two to get when things get really interesting, right?
Yep. And for women, for many women, they spend a lot of money trying to look better, trying to work with their face, their body, and all those type of things. Again, Young Living provides amazing products that, if they're used consistently, will certainly help with fine lines and wrinkles. They'll certainly support the skin. They'll support the body. They'll help support your ability to, shed weight or work with fat, cellulite magic and all that. So there's so many things that you can be using through education on that wellness model that will help drive your OGV, drive your business, will help your team, be more successful in what they're trying to do. And I think that we really often do get hung up. And again, it has changed more since I did this original presentation. It's nice to see Young Living swap over to get the sunscreen, to get the bug repellent. I know that in Canada you can't get it. Rhode Island you can't get it either yet, but we can ship it to the States. But to have the makeup, those are things that you're going to see a lot more of, and people, I really believe they need to start working their presentations where they're bringing more of these things into a presentation, working in a Super B, working in the Amino Wise. If you haven't tried the new Amino Wise product, it's amazing if you're an exerciser. To help with the lactic acid buildup. A Mega Cal. How many people make smoothies every day? I'm going to Uganda with the Young Living Foundation in about 2 weeks, and one of the things that the naturopath recommended is the multigreens, right? Young Living makes a phenomenal multigreen. If you're not using that multigreen every day in your shake, they're 2 capsules, you pitch them in. What a great way to get things like spirulina and other things. And these are things that people are buying other places. Right? They might be buying Orengo, or they might be going to Whole Foods or whatever and getting something. You can get everything you need from Young Living. Remagen is another one a lot of people don't use. That's the tincture, which is great for digestion. Again, great product, but most people have never even looked at it, don't even realize we sell it. But there are people that are out buying these products in other places.
I think it's really, I know that we as in Barney and Susan, have studied and listened to and went through the game plan by Sarah Harnish, and that's one of the things I really think was made really clear by her, among many other things. Of course, it was very comprehensive training, but one of them is totally just acknowledging the fact that this money is being spent out there, and that it's our duty and obligation to help others be empowered and educated, to be more empowered with what options that they do have. And I was talking to my club manager, actually, Lauren, who is we're at my fitness club, and she just signed up her first person, and she's really excited, and that she's like, well, I don't know, what am I going to do now? And she's like, just tell me what questions to go to the group, and which is good. But anyways, we were talking about that, and she's like, I was excited but overwhelmed at all of the options in a good way that everybody that I could share with my new team member as to the options that they have, because she started telling me about all the things that she's been using and the products and the just things that she's either her new sign up, the member is pregnant, or they're working on being to become a new mom, and she's become suddenly much more tuned to the things that are coming into her house and all that. And so anyways, I just think it's really cool because there's an opportunity to keep looking at the consumables, because I know even for me, sometimes when I look at our orders personally, for my wife and I, even though we have to try very hard to keep our household PV below $600 or $700 a month, and people are like, oh my gosh, how could you do that? That's crazy. But really, when you start looking at all the things that you're buying in other places and bringing that all under one roof, so to speak, that's when it gets really interesting.
Well, and I think that, the other thing that you need to work with it, again, you and I are junkies, Barney. We've been around for a long time. We use a lot of products. But anybody that's new, how you want to look at this is when you're working with yourself or you're working with someone else, what is their main wellness concern? Is it exercise? Is it brain health? Is it cellular health? Is it skin? What are they looking to support? Is it digestion? Is it detoxification? You want to target what that person's looking for. What are they looking to support? Do they need more energy? Well, then you're going to talk about Super Bs. Are they worried because their family has a history of osteoporosis? Are they tall and worried about bone health? They're going to look to, the calciums and which one's going to be the best one for them and why. The vitamin C, are they looking to build their immune system? You've got longevity, you've got ImmuPro. There's so many different things. Are they looking to support better sleep? Again, what are they looking to do? That's where you should always start your conversation. And then go from there. Again, if it's brain, we're going to look to mind-wise. If it's just overall health, Ningxia Red, right? Just the free radical damage alone that we do on an everyday basis, Ningxia Red is the way to go. It is it kills free radical damage. It repairs, puts together those cells that are out bouncing around. It's fabulous for your body. So what are they looking to do? Really ask them, and then when you can direct them in the right way, and then you can look for companion products, right? Are they worried about their cholesterol? Well, if they're worried about their cholesterol, they want to support their body in a good way, omega-gize, right? You want to get them on omega-gize. You want to educate them about bad oils, no sunflower, no safflower, and get them on omega-gize. Brain health, omega-gize and mind-wise. So there's so many ways that you can look at this, and again, what is their main concern, and work with them from there.
Yeah, my muting and unmuting timing has been a little off tonight, so I apologize. But yeah, I think that building off of that, Susan, I think if this is, first of all, those of you, I can see Karen and Joe on the screen. I didn't do my hair, so you guys can't see me, but so we can see you. But this won't, and by the way, you won't be on the recording. We'll have some pictures and images up on here. It's just nice to see for the live call, but if you're listening to this after it's recording, you should have been here live, because then you could see these three pretty ladies on the call here. So what I was saying, without getting myself sidetracked, is just that in fitness and in sales, so to speak, but not like annoying pushing and stuff and things, but educated. We call it consultative selling, where there's a problem. So what Sue agreed with me here, because you might disagree, and that's totally cool, and that's what makes this unique, is that there's a problem, and then you provide a solution, but then you address another problem. So it's called the PSP. So write that down. It's called the PSP formula, or problem, solution, problem. What Susan just said was, here's the problem. Okay, what is your biggest challenge? I don't use what's your biggest problem, but sometimes that brings up a pain point. So what's your challenge? What's your problem? I'm feeling, okay, A, B, C, D, F, G. Okay, great. So here's a solution. So here's some products that would be really helpful and beneficial for you to use. Typically speaking, it's good to use them for at least a 2 to 3 month period to notice their effects and benefits. And then this is the problem really leads to another solution and an opportunity, is the follow-up is that the problem is I would hate to see you order a couple $100 in product right away and then try and stockpile it. There's this great program called Essential Rewards, and what's really neat about it is that you can just segue right into it. And so you're presenting the problem in the sense that you don't want to have to see them. Just place a quick order and then not get points for free product and all that other stuff that we could mention. And so I just think it's really good, Susan, what you're saying is it's just really so basic, and I think it's commonly overlooked. But yet very, very, very powerful of presenting, asking them what the problem or the challenge is. You provide the solution. You're not being the prescribing, diagnosing, or any of that business, because we obviously want to stay compliant, but you're suggesting, recommending, and encouraging the use of X product that is beneficial to support X problem, right? So what are your thoughts with that, Susan? Do you kind of see that as fitting in with what you do and how it's been working for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I think that anytime you work with, again, here in the States, if you're in the States, we have to work a lot with compliance. So we always try to work on a rounded way. We talk about diet, exercise, and supporting the body with products that will allow the body to do what it needs to do to stay well, right? So we always talk about those three. And the Young Living is just a great way to do that. And again, you work with what they want to work with, you get them to do it for a certain amount of time, and then you talk about the essential rewards, and then you find other products that they can do to add to that. Okay, we've done this. What else do we want to address, or what products are good companions? And essential rewards is just a natural part of that. Is that what you're looking for, Barney? Yeah. You kind of faded out on me a little.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yes, totally. I think it's really just to essentially bridge the gap, and keeping it simple. And I think that there's still, I've talked to leaders at convention, and there are some, not all, but I mean, let's just say people at convention, other fellow Young Living members, whether they're leading and building and growing their team, or they're just like a passionate product user, there's still this underlying fear of, I don't want to say anything wrong. You know, we did a survey through the summit, and people were like, I don't know, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, and what about this, and what about that? And Mary said to us on the cruise, she's like, you know, this is the direction that this has encouraged us to go, is to go back to the roots, to the foundation, to the basics, and training others to say back to the basics of having those personal, private, one-on-one conversations, where I'm not encouraging you to be non-compliant, but that if something should so happen to slip in a private one-on-one conversation in your house, in a coffee shop, or in a small little meeting, you know, we, like Mary said, they can't take away our freedom of speech, but when you start putting things in print and on social media, that's when it gets really sticky. And so I think that, just to bridge exactly what you're saying, I think it's just really simple, very basic, and it's commonly overlooked. And then that way it takes the fear out of it, so that you're not, you know, you're just suggesting and recommending. And that's where the pocket reference, in the health field, Paul Chek would say, when in doubt, the phone comes out. And so in Young Living, when in doubt, the pocket reference comes out, or the desk reference comes out, or your group comes out. So then you're never left feeling like you have to know all the answers.
Yep. And I always say, just remember, you know, the first thing you should always start with in any seminar is that essential oils don't diagnose, cure, treat, or mitigate. Essential oils support the body so that the body can do what it needs to do to stay well, and you use that in combination with diet, exercise, and meditation. There's no such thing as a magic bullet. Young Living products, be it toothpaste, be it cleaner, be it vitamins, be it essential oils, support your body so that it can maintain a wellness and stay in homeostasis. That's what they do. It makes it very easy to talk about any one of the products.
Yeah, it makes it easy. And I think that, honestly, you know, as much as there's the propensity for us to want to, maybe this is just, I don't know, I'd be stereotypical to say this is a guy thing where we want to fix things all the time and just want to provide solutions and problem solve. I know some of you ladies listening want to do that too, but predominantly it's kind of in a guy's genes, like, okay, honey, I know you just want me to listen, but you're giving me a problem and I want to give a solution. And that's what, I don't know if that's just me, but maybe some of you ladies out there who have guys in your life, so you can say, yep, totally get it. But it's you know, as females, you do that too, and it's kind of fearful or scary at first, where you're like, somebody asks you for help or they need some guidance, and you really want to help them and give them direction and give them that help. But it's good because it's empowering to not feel as though you have to fix them or to give them that perfect solution. You're just kind of guiding and suggesting and recommending. It takes a lot of pressure off. So I think that it's pretty neat.
And I would say this, you know, when I first got into this, so again, it's a little over 6 years now, the audience that essential oils attracted were an audience that had more of a sick care, I'm not well, I need to be fixed. Through the years, we have become much more of a wellness model. We don't attract, not that we don't attract people who aren't looking to make themselves feel better, but we are attracting a different customer, a different member. Members today are trying to avoid the toxins in their life. They're trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. They're trying to create a healthier lifestyle for their children that are either born or coming into the world. So we're attracting a different kind of member, and it is making it easier to talk to this. And I do believe that when we had the compliance come down on us, it created a different language, and we attract a broader and more diverse customer now than we ever did.
Yeah, which is why I totally agree 100%, and I think that that's even more to reinforce without sounding like a broke record here, but just to reinforce what you were reiterating before and saying about what's the biggest wellness concern or the problem or their challenge, and then providing a solution and suggesting and recommending, because it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or who the person is that you're talking to and where they're coming from, where they're at, what they're going through. Just say, great, like, that's awesome, so let's look at the desk reference or whatever, and just kind of help them to get started, you know?
Yeah, and I would challenge everyone out there for the next 24 weeks, right? So from now until Christmas or the New Year, one product a week. Just learn about one product. Go to the catalog and pick something you know nothing about. Remagen. How many people talk about it, right? Master Formula. ICP. How many people know what ICP does? A lot of people don't know that. Just learn one thing and then put it into the category of, oh, that's digestion. Oh, that could be brain health. Oh, that could be cellular health. Oh, that could be, body health. And then when people say to you, oh, well, my biggest challenge is I'm concerned my family, again, has a history of this, or my digestion's not as good as it used to be, you then can say to them, these are the products you want to look at. These are the products you want to actually investigate. I can give you some direction, but then you go and figure out which one is best for your body. And you can lead them to those types of things like the pocket reference in a small group, right? In a one-on-one setting, we can do that. We might not do that in a big setting because we can't, but in those smaller settings, we at least know where to direct people so that they can look.
Yeah, and then it's the metaphor of or the saying. I'm a quote junkie for sure, 100%. I think it's like that's like taking someone fishing and giving them and telling them, here's exactly your protocol. That's taking them fishing for the day. You're going to feed them for the day, but they're going to be dependent on you the next time they get hungry. But doing what, and maybe for some of you guys listening to this, you're like, okay, this is super crazy basic. But like as Jim Rohn says, there's really only a half dozen things that you've got to master to be successful in Young Living. And Sarah Harnish has done an amazing job in her game plan book, saying here's what it is. The challenge is just accepting that and then taking action on it and doing what we're talking about tonight with this, what Sue's making very clear, and I love it, is that you're teaching people to fish. So yes, it's a little bit more frustrating because you just want to hear catch the fish, go eat, and see you later. Maybe not. You say, here, I just want to help you today and feed you, and so you're hungry, or so you're not hungry anymore. But the teaching the fish it's more work up front, but it's definitely, and as that goes into your topic that you're going to be going into more detail on, Sue, in your third year for this summit, is really taking leaders and duplicating and building and growing more leaders, right?
Absolutely. So very important. Again, that's the next step. Once you know the products or you're comfortable with them, it's okay. How do I empower my team to turn around and do the same thing?
Yeah, right. Cool. Yeah, and so anybody, if you guys have questions, you're on here live. Maybe you're wondering, hey, I wanted to ask this question, or what about this, or what about that? No matter where you're at, Sue or Susan is amazing. And so if you have any questions, type them in the chat box, or I could try unmuting you if I can see your name on here. So I'll give you a couple minutes to kind of think about a question. And remember, it's only a silly question if you ask it twice. Number one. Number two is it's not a silly question. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to ask because it might seem kind of or whatever question people have that question and thinking, oh, I'm glad she asked that question because I had this too. So, for example, Karen just asked, when is Susan giving her presentation, or where, and then when? So, Karen, since I can see you, I'll just ask you, did you participate in the summit last 2 years, the online summit at all? You can just nod your head yes or no because I can see you. Okay, you did. Okay, so so Susan's presentation, this is what's cool because I want to share this because I've been working on this for a long, long time, and you guys might have recently received the email on the weekend, but I know it probably got lost because it was July 4th long weekend in Canada. But to answer your question, in a roundabout way we do, Karen, is her presentation is going to be on the summit, the Success Summit, our online event. So this is our third year that we're doing it, so October 1st or the 14th. So one of her presentation that she's going to be doing is going to be online for free. And if I can say this, and so we're going to need for I think there might have been a bit of a delay. I'm not sure what's going on with my audio, but can you still hear me?
Yes, now we can, yep.
Dead air. So basically that probably October 1st or the 14th. And
So Barney, we did get a question.
What I was just going to say was that the then be able to use to and share with other people. Yeah, are we having a big delay here, or what's going on?
Yeah, you keep cutting out. So we get you, and then we lose you. All right. So
I'm going to switch the phone. If you want to get that second question from Susie.
Okay. So Susie asked, just wanting to know if you would recommend doing presentation on pods such as home cleaning or nutritionals rather than an overall demo on essential oils. So Susie, I would tell you that you really want to try to get both in there. So obviously you can direct and have different pods or podcasts for different things, but you always want to, when you're doing an essential oils presentation, you want to try to bring in something, even if it's one or two things, that you can talk about so that people understand that we are much more than an essential oil company. Young Living is not an essential oil company. Young Living is a wellness company. And it's a wellness company in mind, body, spirit, so it does more than just essential oils. It does cleaning, it does beauty products. So I would try to bring that into my presentation, and you certainly can do that when you talk about the thieves line. The thieves line makes it very easy when you talk about the thieves oil to bring in the fact that there are many other things that Young Living does. It's a great presentation. I would also recommend that you do one on cleaning, home cleaning, or you do one on nutritionals. Just be very mindful of where you are with nutritionals and what you say. You want to keep it very education-based and only things that you know you are allowed to say about a particular nutritional, keeping it very compliant. And particularly you're Australia. I know Australia has much more strict regulations than Canada, which in some ways is more strict or loose than the United States based on whether you're talking about an essential oil or a product. Susie, does that help you? You can type in if you want. Okay, great, thanks. Okay, cool. One of the things that my team is working on right now is that, there's a lot of online events, and I do love online events. I think they're very easy. I think they're great for when you have people far away. I don't think anything replaces one-on-one. I'm a one-on-one. Even if it's 10 people in a room or 15 people in a room, I much prefer that one-on-one, but we know that not everybody does. But really trying to target your podcast, so doing one just on men and maybe having, 3 or 4 little interviews with men on 3 or 4 little minute clips about what they're doing with essential oils. I think men want to know what other men are doing. I don't think they want women to be telling them what they're doing. They want to hear other men telling them what they're doing, right? I think that getting moms who are using essential oils during pregnancy and during the baby years, bringing them on and interviewing them in a podcast, right, is much more interesting than me sitting and talking to you because I'm a 55-year-old woman who doesn't have any grandchildren, right? So why am I talking to you about that? So I think that anytime you can direct a podcast and make it more personal by bringing someone in that is in whatever topic you're talking about, I think it's really, really key. You back, Barney?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Cool. If you guys are listening to this, you're probably laughing if you're thinking, wow, this the first night on the job. So what I wanted to do real quick before we get to Joe's question is just to circle back for Karen. If I clarified that for you, Karen, just give me a yes or no. And I don't know what you heard and what you didn't hear, but what I do want to clarify before we get into Joe's question is I want you guys to think about what would it look like for you to be thinking about all these presentations. So we have Sue's 2 presentations from the last 2 years. I was really met with a challenge from the leaders, the presenters, to say, hey, the summit's great, it's amazing. The only thing is it's like people are drinking from a fire hose for 2 weeks, and it's great. And it's awesome if you get all the material and the content, but then the next thing is it's kind of like buying like 50 books at once. You look at it and you're like, well, if you're disciplined and detailed and meticulous like Sue, you're probably going to take the books and start chopping away at them, but other people might look at it and get overwhelmed. And my little metaphor here is that we've made it simple so that we now have a membership that we're in beta testing right now. So if you're interested, just think of what it would look like for you and what it would mean to you to have access to these 147 different presentations. Easiest way to think about it is to think of Netflix and Audible and Oily Tools meet Young Living, okay? So you have access to all these presentations. So what I would do is if I was Sue, and she's, or pardon me, if I'm Barney and Sue, which that is the case, and Sue's on my team, we had a great chat, and we're like, hey, this is awesome, and I learned a lot from our first chat here, and let's kind of also use Joe's question that mix into this and say, I know that you're just getting started, Sue, and you really want to be successful at this, and you really want to learn how you can take things to the next level or be successful. What I'd love to do is suggest that you listen to Susan Johnson's presentation on the 3 keys to growing your business. If I sent that to you, would you watch it? And then Sue's going to say yes with a big smile on her face, and then I'll be able to email or text it to her. And if not, then I'm not going to waste my time. It's just like a cup of water, right? Are you thirsty? Would you like a glass? Cool. And if not, then have a good night. And then basically, then I can do that, and the person who would then have 5 days to listen to it. If she doesn't listen to it, it expires, and when she clicks on it, she has 36 hours to listen to it, because we want to use these presentations to play chess with them, in the sense that there's the Eric Worre model of if I would you. So if I share that with you, Susan, would you? And she's nodding her yes, because she's a good new member and she'll do so. So if what I'm saying is making sense, that's the vision for what we're doing here, guys. And then these bonus coaching calls are going to be included when we build the app out and the membership site. That those will be free. They're on YouTube. You can listen to them, share these calls, because this is really what Young Living's about. And I did want to go in that big giant circle to come back to Joe's question, now that my audio is working properly, is to do you have any advice, Sue, for a brand new member who really wants to succeed at this?
So the first thing is that where is that member? You know, they need to have the basics. So you need to have the basic foundations, okay? So there are certain things that you, to succeed, need to know. And it's not what lavender does, right? Because those things you can figure out, right? Most people are afraid to step out and do a presentation because someone's going to ask them, well, what does that oil do, or whatever. You know what? That's the greatest question going. The more you know, the harder this is. But what you do need to know is what's compliant. You do need to know what the compensation plan is. You do need to know how to set up a new member, right? You do need to know how to give them resources. You do need to know how to set up your new business builders to be successful, right? Because if I said to you, Joe, what does Copaeva do? And you don't know, you could look at me and go, wow, Sue, what a great question. I'll be honest with you. There's so many things I don't know, but let me show you how you can find that out. Because now you've not only, showed that you're not perfect, because we don't want to ever be seen as perfect, and number two, you can teach them how to fish themselves and get those answers. Because the last thing you want to be as the new builder is either the Avon lady, or B, the question lady. Because you will get questions all hours of the night. My son just came down with a fever. What do I do? My mother-in-law just texted me she has high. You don't want to be that person. You want to be more of a wellness person, so you want to teach them how to fish. And knowing what you need to know, so the compensation plan, how to set up a member, what their resources are, how they find out what essential oils do, and how to use them properly, right? So you need to know, how do you use them? Which ones can you ingest? Which ones can't you? How do you know what that is? Oh, we have Vitality. Those are the most important things, not what each one does, right? But knowing how to find that information. That's really more key, because that will make you really successful. And trying the products, and never, ever, ever come at it and go, well, I've been using this and I really kind of like it. No, we have amazing products. These products are the highest quality going. They have changed my life. I absolutely love them. And, let me ask you this. What are you looking to support in your life? What brought you to this presentation? You're off and running. You don't need to know all the answers. You just need to know what direction to send them in. Make sense?
Yeah,
Yes, totally.
I think really, really good. And I think that what's cool about what you just said, Susan, is that this is where my vision, what I've been called forward to do and to bring to you guys, is to simplify it in a way that, I've had people say the game plan doesn't work for me because X, Y, Z. This program doesn't work for me because blah, 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 or whatever. And at the end of the day, like, I love when Sarah says, she's like, it's not a matter of whether or not the business works. It's a mathematical certainty. The business works. The compensation plan works. The difference is whether or not you're going to work, whether that's Joe or Karen or Susan or Barney. And sometimes that's a little too much for some people to handle, because they're like, oh my gosh, it can't be me. It could be the compensation plan, or that there's so many products or whatever. But I say this because when I hear you talking, Susan, I'm just thinking this is like I'm getting confirmation as reassurance that what we're going to be doing is thinking of this. It can be overwhelming. You're like, oh my goodness, like 147 presentations. But what I'd encourage you to do is, if you're thinking of getting to the membership, which, by the way, there's no big, giant, crazy flash sale. There's really one simple, basic price, and this is like Oily Tools. Is the price, is the price, is the price, is the price. It's $14.95 a month, okay? And so when Joe's a new member on the team and she says, hey, I'd love to share this all with you, but I only have so much time in the day, I legitimately, Joe, if you were on my team, I would say that's great. You want to learn the compensation plan? I would know what presentation to share with you based on the conversations. The challenge that I've had is I've studied different systems, and Brian Carruthers, Eric Worre, and Sarah Rockin Robbins, and all these different things that are out there. And I found that there was different things that I liked. And what I love about Sarah Harnish's program is she simplified it and said, here's what works. But I will say that sometimes that exact system might not work for you. And the point being is that Susan Johnson's presentations, her top 10 to 15 that she shares with her builders, her new team members, or nurturing people on her team are going to be different than Karen's and Joe's and Barney's, because I might connect and resonate with different presentations. All that to say, this isn't a sales pitch whatsoever. This is a free coaching call, but I want you guys to see that this is the intention to help serve, because we're using this to grow our team. And all these coaching, like just this coaching call, thinking if something resonated with you tonight, you send this link when it gets uploaded to our YouTube channel, and you can say, hey, Mary, this is Joe's new team member, metaphorically speaking, or theoretically speaking, saying, hey, if I sent this to you, Mary, would you watch it? There's some great information covered on it. She'd say yes, and just let me know what you'd like best about it. And just getting used to doing that is really good, because then it takes the pressure off from Joe having to know everything, and Susan, even though Susan's, and Barney are well-educated in different areas and aspects. So that was my 2 cents to contribute to what Sue already said, which was amazing.
And good luck.
Yeah, for sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good luck and welcome. It's awesome to be part of the team, and we're all one big, cool, awesome family and team. And that's what I love about what we do at the summit. That I don't care where you guys are in the team. I've even had people say this to me, where they're like, "Why did you do this? Like, this was like probably detrimental to your growth. Like, how is it helping you grow your business?" And I said, well, frankly, it's not. Actually, it's been a huge distraction. But the how strong of the vision that I had and that calling that it was for me to pull this forward and to move, how compelled I feel to bring this to you guys, was stronger, and the satisfaction that I get of being able to bring something and to be part of facilitating or co-creating this whole thing. But really, at the end of the day, I think I'm cool. I have a pretty healthy ego. I think I'm like pretty awesome and cool. But let's be honest, not everybody's going to resonate with everything that I say. But you listen to Sue Johnson from Rhode Island, and she's amazing, and then you connect with something with Barney, and then we've got another 60 or 70 presenters. You're going to find something. So I get a lot of satisfaction out of that, and I just say this to you guys because I didn't really plan for that. I just wanted to share it. But that's why we're all here, and we're all here to help each other succeed. And so I think it's, first of all, I want to commend everybody who's here live, because the calls are growing and getting larger and larger every week, which is awesome. And Sue, any final words of wisdom in kind of closing to our amazing call that was rudely interrupted by Barney's slow connection and audio?
Yeah, I would say this, especially somebody like you, Joe, the cool thing about what Barney's talking about is that just like that person that sits down with you and you say to them, what are you looking to support in your life? You want to ask yourself when you look at something, Barney says, I have 147 presentations. Instead of looking at it as Young Living's 500 products, ask yourself, Joe, what am I looking to support myself on this week, right? What do I need to learn? And then you look at those presentations. And that's the coolest thing about something like this, is that you can start with the basics, because there are people who talk about the basics, or somebody who's been in there for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. They can look at what they're doing. They can look and say, this is what I need to support this week. And it's amazing how when you have that type of a catalog, or in Barney's case, presentations, that you can find what you need to support what you need to support. So just like what we talk about when we talk about working with people, we'd say the same thing when we work with something like the Summit. There's something there for everybody, and whatever place you are in your particular journey, which is really cool. Young Living has something for everybody, no matter whether they're toe tapping on wellness, or they're somebody who's been in this forever and really looking for totally clean, bioavailable products that are really going to take their journey to the next level.
That's absolutely amazing, because I'm going to use that to help share the connection with it, because that's exactly it. It's like, I think it's really just to simplify it. So there isn't, I tell people that, and they look in the face, they're like, oh my goodness, it's like 147 presentations. Like, how you might only use 10 to 15 or 20 of them on a regular basis.
but having access to them to learn and grow on an ongoing basis, and then being able to share them with people, to simplify it, break down the barriers and the boundaries to be able to, get that details out there. That'd be amazing. So thank you for that. And there is two last things. Well, Karen was asked, what do you tell people who are saying they're not a salesperson? I love this one, but I'll let you answer it too, if you don't mind.
Okay, so what was it? What do you tell people who say they are not? Okay, so you know what? Here's the deal, Karen. I have never sold an oil in my life. Never. I hate Barney. Well, you heard Barney talk about,
Yeah.
in the beginning about Casey and I being competitive. It kills my sister. She's a total salesperson. I can't sell a thing. Can't sell a thing. But you know what I have, Karen? I have passion, and I have belief in the products that I have. I do not have to sell if I've done my job in using the products, and I can talk about what they've done for my life and how I feel, right? How I feel. 'Cause no one can take away how I feel. The products will sell themselves. They will sell themselves. And if you get up and you're speaking to an audience and no one buys anything and you haven't sold, you have to ask yourself how you're presenting yourself. Because if you put up there and say, well, I like this and it's kind of good. No. What do you love about it? I love Young Living because it's changed my life. I feel great.
Yeah.
55 years old, I feel better than I ever did at 45. I can work out harder. I can do longer hours. I can take things farther. But it's only because I did diet, exercise, and I put healthy supplementation and products in my life that have detoxified me, supported my body. I don't need to say anything else. I want what she's got, right?
Yeah.
That's what you've got.
Absolutely.
You do not, no one should be selling this product. If this product can't sell itself, then you're not talking about it right.
Yep, I agree. And I think the other component too, just my last piece before we kind of wrap things up here, Karen, is I would just say this, that I actually don't advocate selling. We share, so we use this acronym, SET UP, so S-E-T and then UP, so just the word set up, where we share, we educate, and we teach people about these unbelievable products. So unbelievable products is UP, and then SET is share, educate, and teach. And because I am a good salesperson. I'm in the sales business and fitness. I believe in sales. I'm passionate about it because it makes the world go round. However, it's the association that people have with a potentially bad experience in the past or some other person that's given them a slimy feeling. They're like, I don't want to come off like that. Well, then don't. You just educate and empower and give them options. And then the nice part is that if they're interested, I will say that when you're building and you're growing and you want to get to the next level or you want to get started and get your first paycheck, you have to go into it, or I would suggest and recommend going into it and being relatively detached from the outcome as much as you want to be. Like, I'm a red personality, so I'm like totally results driven and like hardcore on that side. But the thing is, when you go in and you're just like, you're going to do the presentation and then judge by results, so to speak, or talk to the person. If they join, great. And if they don't, then what worked, what didn't, and what can you do better next time? Because when you put it, I'm not saying that you are, but I think that that's an underlying inherent challenge that is common in Young Living, but just in general in network marketing, where we get attached to the outcome. And if they don't sign up, then they're like, oh my gosh, if they didn't sign up or they didn't get started, and it can lead to feelings of disempowerment. But then when you're just like, you really put it out there, then it gives you the ability to just, like the glass of water. If I offer you, if you were sitting across the table from me, Karen, and I said, hey, would you like a glass of water? And you're like, no, well, I'm not going to get up and kick the chair out from behind me and say, well, Karen didn't want my glass of water. Like, how rude was that? Or, and you're not going to get mad because I was trying to sell you the glass of water. Like, it sounds silly, right? But when you look at it the same way like this, it's no different, And if you look at it that way, then it's really helpful to put what Sue's talking about into practice. So.
And again, so when you talk about presenters, look at Casey's presentation about overcoming objections. If you're having trouble with people, look at overcoming objections, because right there, that's, again, you don't have to sell, but you want to know what every objection is going to be before coming in and how to overcome it. So that would be a great, I think she did that presentation for you.
Yeah, I think she did. See, this is what's cool about it. I don't have the list in front of me, but there's 147 presentations. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. But what you'll have is like there's a list of them so you can see what's what. And by the way, if you're wondering, well, what are these and where do I go to? Just go to ylsuccesssummit.com. and then you can go to trailers and you can see them on there. I don't have the options yet for the beta program for the VIP annual and monthly program yet, which basically you can get the annual membership for $149 for a year, which gives you access to everything in the past, everything that's current, and then the sharing ability when we get the app built later this fall. But then the other side is the monthly, just $14.95 for a 12-month area like an annual membership. The neat part is that you'll then be able to have access to see what's what, and then just as Sue said, she's like, you really should listen to that for overcoming objections, and then it allows you to feel empowered to use that educational tools at the top. So, yeah, so go take a look at the trailers, and you can see those presentations on there, and these bonus coaching calls are on our YouTube channel. You can just go into YouTube and just type in the 3 words, just YL Success Summit, and that'll take you right to our page. And then if you subscribe to the channel, then you'll get notified when you get uploaded, or if you just check back every week. Usually when we do the calls on Wednesday, it's usually up by Friday, but I'm trying to get it by Thursdays. And yeah, and then this is cool. So we've got amazing material and content coming your way in October. Can't wait to share with you guys more of what's coming. But if you want to get in early to give us feedback of how it's working for you with the sharing, with the consumption of the presentations, and really, I'm really just, I want to be able to have some success stories like Karen and Joe got on this free call this night, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and I'm going to invest the $14.95 in the beta program, so to speak, or just in the VIP program, which we have in the summit. Listen to Sue Johnson. She's amazing. I had no idea who she was. She's really cool, and was much more straight to the point than Barney was. He just rambles on and on. Just kidding. Got to keep my humor going. But then it changed your, because it literally can change your life. Like a call like this can literally change your life, where you get breakthrough to the next level, and then you get a presentation that you can share with people, and you feel empowered to have the tools that you need to keep growing and sharing your love with other people. So as we will bring this to a close this time for real, because we always get some good juicy tidbits at the end. And I'll agree with Dorothy, as I'll just read her comments, is yes, we are, as just we're one big family. It's the absolute best thing that she loves about Young Living is that we're colleagues, not competitors. And I agree with that 100%. So working together, of course, yes, when we're growing and building our business, we want to encourage that enrollment to join in our team, but we're not competitive, like we're going to get all weird about it. Because Shannon Hudson said this to me once. She's like, honey, she's like, seeds are meant to, the seed that is planted where it is will grow where it's meant to be planted, basically. And so I would like to remind myself of that. So thank you so much, Susan, for investing the most precious resource that we all have, which is time, because we're never going to get that 60 minutes, 70 minutes back, but the huge investment of your time and contribution to the success of all of us in Young Living. And thank you all for listening in live. And if you're listening to this call and it's a recording, then good on you. Share this with a friend or the team member. And thanks again for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you guys next week at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And let's say a little prayer, do a happy dance, and knock on wood, and hopefully we won't have any tech issues next week.
All right. Thanks, Barney. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, Sue. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.